Up with KREM begins now.
Right now on Up with KREM, the search is on for the man in this video. He is suspected of stealing the truck found in the Spokane River. A Spokane car dealership is offering a reward for information.
The paddleboard ban at the St. George's Put-in is over. It wasn't in place for long, so this morning Washington State Park and Rec changed their minds.
And of course, we're taking you outside on this beautiful start to the day. Temps on the rise already as we shoot for highs in the 80s today.
Good morning and welcome to Up with KREM. It's good to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol. Well, today is the last day you can get vaccinated at the Spokane Arena.
After giving out more than 75,000 doses, the site is set to close today at 5 p.m. So let's take a look back at when the vaccination site opened. Just about 5.5 months ago on January 28th, hundreds of people lined up to get a shot, and there were a lot of long lines.
So many. You can see even the video right behind us. This shows some of those lines, people getting an appointment at the arena. It was chaotic for some. Appointments were filled in just 30 minutes for each week, along with people having to figure out how to navigate that website and how to sign up.
Yeah, there were a lot to take in, really a lot of information. So in the first 3 days of the clinic, nearly 2,000 people were able to get their first dose of the Moderna vaccine. And by the end of the week, lining up at the arena really became second nature to our community.
And now everything is set to change, even go back to normal, which brings a smile to a lot of our faces, right? Washington Governor Jay Inslee says that Washington will reopen on June 30th, regardless of hitting that 70% vaccination rate. As it stands, Inslee said Washington is nearly 68% vaccinated already, but a full reopening of the state doesn't necessarily mean all COVID requirements will be set aside.
The Department of Health Secretary, Dr. Umair Shah, says there will still be mask requirements for unvaccinated people in indoor settings. It also still applies to high-risk outdoor settings. The state is following CDC guidelines, which shows fully vaccinated people can resume all activities without a mask. Unvaccinated people, on the other hand, are still asked to wear a mask in most settings. All right, 7:02 now on a Thursday morning. Let's get to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. Jeremy, it is Father's Day weekend. We're just one day closer to the weekend. So what is the weather going to be like this weekend?
Perfect.
Perfect.
We got a little something for everyone if you don't want rain. Unfortunately, we are kind of done with the rain in the extended forecast. Even as we try to see a system move in, it just doesn't quite happen. We are sitting comfortably in the mid-50s this morning. It's warming up quick across much of the inland northwest. How about this one for you? 54 in Coeur d'Alene after being almost 10 degrees colder just 1 hour ago. 50 in Sandpoint, 54 in Moses Lake, and up near 60 in Wenatchee. Nothing but sunshine, and that's what's helping those temps climb. We haven't even made it under that oppressive ridge of high pressure that's going to heat us up next week. For now, it's just sunshine, doing what sunshine does today and tomorrow, and that's warm us up. How about this one for you? We're in the low 80s later on this afternoon. Forecast models are suggesting 81. I think we beat that by a couple of degrees with how quickly we are already warming up. I think we'll be up to 83 later today. And when it comes to that weekend, well, Tim talked about it. We're all looking forward to it. How about 85 on Saturday? It's very warm. It's a bit breezy, though, as a front moves through. Doesn't offer us much more than a little cloud cover and wind. And by Sunday, basically perfect. A couple of clouds to remind us that the sky is there, 83 degrees and calm wind.
Jeremy, thank you. Take a look at your screen here. This surveillance video obtained by KREM 2 shows two suspects that did take a truck from a West Central dealership.
We first brought you this as breaking news yesterday. The stolen truck was found later in the Spokane River.
This morning, we do have Nicole Hernandez at that area where that truck was found. And Nicole, you've been following this story very closely for the last 24 hours. What can you tell us about the investigation?
Yeah, Tim, so right now I'm actually right along the Spokane River, right near the Minnehaha climbing rocks. And you can see right here, this is actually right where the crews pulled the truck out of the river over this embankment here. So take a look at this video. We actually captured the whole thing happening on video. The crews pulling that truck out of the water yesterday right here on Up with KREM. Now, divers didn't find anyone in or around the truck. Spokane police said that the witness who called them saw headlights in the water and watched it sink. A dive team then searched the Spokane River after getting that report. Police suspected that the truck was stolen and put in the river on purpose. They said this was not a crash at all. The truck was stolen from Next Gen Auto on North Ash Street. The manager said a neighbor tipped him off that his store had been broken into. He says this is the first time they've had to deal with the vehicle being stolen.
We have a lot of people in the neighborhood that do work for us and that we have relationships with that kind of watch over the place. And in the 4 years we've been here, it's the first real break-in that we've had.
The manager says the surveillance video shows the suspects also took wheels off of a Subaru, leaving them next to the vehicle. They later came back to take those wheels and take the truck as well. He says that this will cost the dealership about $20,000. Right now, Next Gen Auto is actually offering a $1,000 reward to anyone who has information that will lead to an arrest of one of these suspects. So if you do have any information, you can go ahead and give Crime Check a call. You can see that number down below on your screen right now. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thanks so much for tracking that closely for us. It's time for your morning rush now. More news in less time.
Post Falls City Council approved the building of high-density condos last night. The condos will be along the Spokane River, so this was reported by our news partner, the Coeur d'Alene Press. A representative for the project says the proximity to I-90 and the Idaho-Washington border would be great for people who want to live in Idaho and work in Washington.
Several hours after a fire tore through a house in Medical Lake, crews stayed for hours to make sure it did not reignite and spread. That fire engulfed a two-story home, shut down parts of State Route 902 on Wednesday. The road reopened a couple of hours later. 2 people were inside the home and 1 was taken to a hospital for smoke inhalation. Both are expected to be okay.
An Idaho family was backpacking in North Fork Lake when their dog was mistaken for a wolf and shot twice. Robert Colby and his 16-year-old daughter Piper made plans to backpack this past weekend. Their Alaskan Malamute Suki, who you see in those photos, tagged along. Everything was okay until Saturday morning when the pair woke up to the sounds of gunshots. At another site on the lake, campers thought Suki was a wolf. As the dog walked to their campsite, they shot Suki as they approached their own dog. Now the Colby family is asking for people to use caution with their guns, especially in the backcountry.
Awful. Well, to the south now, Oregon joins Washington to allow human composting as a final resting option. Oregon Governor Kate Brown signed an amendment to allow for the natural organic reduction of bodies into soil. It follows the move Washington made in 2019 when it became the first state to legalize human composting.
And it didn't take long. After receiving feedback from paddlers, Washington State Parks and Rec suspended their paddleboard ban on the St. George's Put-in. Last month, the agency banned the boards at that site. Now, their intent is to protect the area's natural resources. However, they say the agency was met with confused and upset reactions from paddlers. They say we need to step back and be more thoughtful about how to protect that area. Now, they welcome public feedback to find a solution. And that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media. Well, they're back. There's a photo of an Asian giant hornet from Western Washington making the rounds on social media. Take a look on your screen. It is huge. Look at that. It's right next to a beer can. That's nothing to mess with. Why this doesn't necessarily mean there's another nest out there, we're going to break it down coming up.
And we are talking that week. I can't talk after Asian giant hornets. Every time I'm just sitting here going, ooh. All right, anyway, we are going to take you outside. We're going to talk our changing weekend of weather and let you know what to expect on Father's Day.